Hi everyone. So now what we want to do is look at the other side of the federal government, which is federal taxes. And the primary tax that the federal government imposes on all of us is the federal income tax. And these rates vary across different income levels. Some people, the lower income actually don't have to pay any income taxes, and then the high end is anywhere, I think, between 33 and 35%. Now the history of the income tax has been quite incredible. Back in the 50s, if you were making large amounts of money, like over $300,000 or $400,000, maybe more, your tax rate was about 80%. Now think about that. For every $1 million you earned, 80% of that, or $800,000, would have to go to the federal government. Well, obviously, that was not very sustainable, and eventually these rates fell. And but this is the primary source of revenue for the country. Now, what's going to happen is, for this year, where a lot of people have lost their jobs and are no longer earning wages, their responsibility for paying federal income tax is going to diminish. So what we're going to see next year is, when the federal government collects all their income tax, it's going to be way down. Now, obviously, the deadline to file your taxes has been moved from April 15th to sometime in June, I think. Okay, but all the income taxes that they're collecting now from 2019 were never impacted by COVID-19. So the amount of money that the federal government has received in federal income tax payments is going to be high. But for next year, which is going to cover the year 2020, income tax is going to be way down, and the federal government will have an issue there, but we'll get to that when we talk about deficits and surpluses. Okay, the second tax is a corporate tax charged to large companies. And the corporate tax is actually down to about 35% now. It's in the past has been relatively high. But this is a relatively small percentage of the income tax. Income tax is about 85 to 88% of income taxes, and corporate tax is about 8 to 10%. So the big player is the income tax. Now the third one has been getting a lot of press in the last 3 years, is the taxes we pay on international trade. So international trade is divided into two components. One is we may import a lot of goods from foreign countries around the world, and there's a tax paid on these imports. So those import taxes are actually transferred into higher prices that we pay for the goods that are imported from around the world. And then there's also some export taxes where American companies will sell their goods abroad, and there'll be taxes there too. This gets really complicated. In fact, one of the PhD students who's taking my graduate level class in computer modeling is actually doing a study on this. It's actually pretty interesting, because a lot of times with international trade, we will sell intermediate inputs to, let's say, China, and then China will produce the final product, and then we'll import that product from China, and we'll have to pay an import tax on that. But what's complex about it is some of the components that the Chinese manufacturers are using, they actually purchase from the U.S. So it's pretty complicated. So what we have, to summarize, we have income taxes, corporate taxes, and international trade taxes. And there's other taxes, but for the purposes of this class, we'll just stay with these three. Okay, we'll see you in a little bit.